Well, you've heard the phrase, all politics is local. And by golly, I think we can all agree that politics at the local level is extremely important. Doesn't get the coverage, doesn't get the the fanfare, if you will, of higher office at the national level, but it is where the meat, it's the grindstone, as they say, at the local level. I came across a candidate recently at a meeting. I was very impressed with him. He's running for state assembly in California, the same state where Steve Hilton is running for governor. He's running for state assembly in District 79, which covers part of San Diego County, where I'm at. It covers El Cajon, La Mesa, Lemon Grove, National City, City Heights, for those of you familiar with San Diego. I was impressed with him. I want to bring on and introduce you to Andrew Lawson. Andrew, good to see you.
Hi, Rick. How's it going?
Going great. How's your campaign going?
It's going. I've been at this for a little over a year now, a little over a year and a half actually, because I've never been involved in politics before. I had to get to know, the Republicans. I always been registered a Republican, but never gotten involved. So
Mhm.
it's been fun and refreshing to see other people out there that are fighting this fight.
Tell us about, I got to know you a little bit at an event as I just described, but let's let our viewers, especially those in San Diego, get to know you. Tell us who you are, why you're running for office, what you stand for.
Well, I'm Andrew Lawson. Um, I'm I'm running for this seat. Uh, I have a master's degree in education, which was my career of choice. But during the COVID situation, after Biden took office, I elected to leave that industry um, because I didn't feel it appropriate that the state was, mandating masks, and then we had that threat of the vaccine mandate coming down on us too. So I elected to leave, and I had a background in mathematics, so I became an accountant afterward. And then I went back to school and got another bachelor's degree. So I have a master's and two bachelor's degree in education and then accounting. Um, and I got involved because my only other option was to flee. I'm kind of in this whole flight or fight mode that I think a lot of Californians are. I think last year we lost over 1 million people to, they moved out of the state because
Yeah,
they can't afford life.
that's right.
The streets are unsafe, and our economy it's stifled by democratic policies.
California, as you already know, California has the highest unemployment rate in America.
Mhm.
It has the highest youth unemployment rate in America. It has the highest state tax rate in America, the highest cost of living in America. And I hear you in your comments addressing those issues. You didn't mention them specifically, but you mentioned them conceptually there. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right. We have an affordability crisis in California. Highest gas taxes, highest taxes, period. Um, our housing in my district alone, the average income for a family is $80,000, but the average cost of a home is $800,000.
Wow.
There's no way that anybody can make a mortgage on that income. And a lot of this has to do with red tape and the lack of education we're giving to our youth. Kids are coming out of school and they're not able to read or do math, and they're going into colleges and they're having to take remedial classes in order to, just to begin their college career. That's all making life more unaffordable for everybody because you're not getting good quality, a good quality workforce out of that.
What's Andrew Lawson going to do to address those issues when elected?
Well, I'm going to say no to a lot of the Democratic policies up in Sacramento. They're the ones that have had a supermajority in the state assembly for the last 16 years. And if anyone else has noticed, in the last 16 years, our state's been going downhill.
Yeah.
So any policies that the Democrats are bringing forward, I'm going to fight against them, and I'm going to be honest with the people about it. I'm going to do my best to get online every day and report on what is happening on the assembly floor and what the Democrats are doing. Specifically, like the last couple of weeks they passed a bill to tax our private health insurance. That's something I would have voted no on.
Wow. Andrew, there's currently, as I understand, an incumbent Democrat in that office, assembly seat currently. How do you think she gets elected in that district? I mean,
Well, I mean, in 24, she ran against three other Democrats in the primary.
hmm, there
And
you
so
go.
her and Colin Parent came out of that. And the both of them, they both did their thing, and they both attacked each other on different points. But ultimately, I'm guessing the younger crowd voted for her the most, um, considering her policies were more, focused on the affordability, and she was going to do things like, make it easier for families to buy a home. But
But it's
like,
not happening.
say again.
But it's not happening.
It's not. It has not happened yet. No.
I would think that would be a key point if she got voted in pre-election or a previous election for making home buying more affordable, when instead it's become more unaffordable. She needs to get booted out.
Yeah, I don't. I didn't want to point to this, but there's almost like some nepotism going on there. The Secretary of State, Shirley Weber, she used to be the Assemblywoman for this district. And when our Secretary of State, who I think it was Alex Padilla, when he got pulled out of that into Biden's administration, Shirley Weber became the Assemblywoman. Well, her daughter ended up running for the seat, Akilah Weber, who's now a senator. And my opponent just happened to be Akilah's best friend in high school. So it seems to me like there's a little nepotism going on there.
Yeah.
But obviously, we're in a constitutional republic. People have a right to vote. So people voted her in.
All right. So you stand for more affordable housing. What else?
So I'm standing for, making California more affordable. And I'm focused on our public safety in California. And I want to create an economy that lets businesses grow.
Wow. That sounds so un-Californian these days.
It does. There's been a lot that's just. I mean, we had Elon Musk move out because of the threat on taxes. This year, there's a ballot measure. They're calling it a billionaire tax. Warning here is that inside this bill, that it gives the state assembly and the Senate the right to change the law whenever they get a 2/3 majority vote, which again they already have. They have a supermajority, so we got to break that up. Otherwise, I'm afraid they're going to go back and change that law, and instead of billionaires, it's going to be millionaires next.
Yeah.
And then what happens when the millionaires leave and they need more money, right? They start going after people making $500,000, $100,000, right?
Andrew, do you have the breakdown by chance of registered voters, Democrat versus Republican in that assembly district?
Yeah, it's kind of divided into thirds though. We have about a third Democrats registered, about a third of the Republicans registered there, and then a third of it is no party preference or independent voters.
I didn't know that at all, but I could see that. I know that district well, being in San Diego and looking at those areas, I would have been shocked if it was like in other parts of California, if it was predominantly blue, which it is not, and that's good news for you. Uh, so let me just say this, Andrew. For whatever it's worth, I'm going to go on the air right now and say that I believe that Assembly District 79 needs someone just like you in that office for state assembly. You believe in more affordable living, public safety. You believe that housing and cost of living is out of control, and you're right. You believe that unemployment rate is too high, and you're right. It's the highest in America for the state. I want to go on record and say that I am endorsing you, Andrew Lawson. I'm endorsing you for state assembly in District 79 in California for whatever that's worth. Andrew, any final comments you'd like to add?
Yeah, I've been looking across the country, and I understand a lot of young people are looking towards the Democratic Socialist of America.
Yeah,
And I don't think that they actually want socialism. They just want change. Okay. We have an environment of politicians that don't, they're not connected with the public like they should be. And that's because they spend too much time in Washington, or in my case, I think they're spending way too much time in Sacramento. And I'd like our legislature to get back to a point where they go back home and live in their district and only go to Sacramento to pass a budget and for emergency situations.
great point. I think you're exactly right, Andrew. I really do.
I'd like people to know I'm a common guy. I'm primed and ready, right? I have my master's degree. I have my bachelor's degree in the accounting. So, but I live my life like an average person. And I say that because I am connected to people. I do feel the same struggles that other people are feeling. And so when I get to the state assembly, I will fight for you like I want somebody to fight for me.
Strong message. All right, folks, for those of you watching, living in District 79 in California, which is El Cajon, La Mesa, Lemon Grove, National City, City Heights, and more, if you live there, if you know someone who lives there, and you agree that California should not have the highest unemployment rate in America, you agree that California should not have the highest youth unemployment rate in America, if you agree California should not have out of reach housing for purchases for affordability, then you agree that there needs to be change. And tell your friends about Andrew Lawson. We're putting his website across the screen here. And go out and vote for Andrew Lawson if you're in that district. Andrew Lawson.
Send donations if you can, guys, please. Send donations if you can.
Give us your email address to send to, Andrew.
Yeah, so if you go to the website, lawsonforcalifornia.com, I have a red button up on the top right of the website. It's, and you can donate there. At that same spot, there's a space if you want to mail a check. The address to mail the check is right there, and all the information you need is there.
All right, you heard it. You could he's in the Republican Party, but he's not a professional politician. He can use your help. Andrew Lawson, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Rick. Have a great day.
You too. Back with more.